You know what's funny about this? I don't know what I'm gonna really make. So I'm gonna make an Easter themed piñata cake because that was the theory. I know what I wanted to fill it with. This is a really special edition, and I hope you guys like it. I hope I do good. So I'm back, and I baked me a rainbow cake here. And basically what I did is I just filled it with a thin layer of buttercream. I took a circle cutter and I cut out little cake slices, and then I just kind of filled it up. And now I got this nice hole here. Let me show you. Now I didn't do it on the bottom slice because you want to be able to have, you know, kind of like a bottom slice, a top slice, and then all that candy is going to go in the middle. So I got some little Easter egg candy guys here. I'm gonna put these guys in here, bada boom. Woo. Alrighty. Maybe a couple too many. So what I'm gonna do now is just finish icing my cake here. So I'm gonna put a little bit of buttercream on top just to kind of smooth it out. It's springtime, so I want to do something that's kind of eggy and floral. And one of my favorite techniques to do is pipe buttercream flowers. It doesn't always got to be a rose. It could be succulents. It could be little daisies. It could be these little like fantasy flower things that I have. A lot of people are using these new things, these Russian tips, right? So these Russian tips are pretty cool. I got a bunch of them here. I never really used one yet. So we're gonna experiment here. Basically what they are is, they have these like little cutouts on top, and I'm assuming that with the right pressure, I'm gonna be able to make it look like flowers. So we're gonna play around with a couple of these and see how they work. There's always the good old-fashioned way, which is the way that I've always done it and might be the best way still. What I love about today is you see the Cake Boss being Cake Boss for real. This is kind of the creative process. This is my canvas. I'm gonna kind of play around with the colors and tones that I wanna use, and then I'm gonna make it happen. So now I'm making my base color, which I like green because I think that it kind of reminds me of like springtime. It's gonna add a lot of pop, which is gonna make my other colors really set off against it. Have some great contrast on it. This is gonna hurt me more than it's gonna hurt you. That's what the doctor used to say. I was a kid. All right. Can you use a spatula? Yeah, but there's just something about getting your hand dirty and getting in there and really mixing the color. And honestly, it just takes a lot shorter time to mix it by hand. But if you don't use the gloves, then your hands will be purple. Probably 2 to 3 showers to really get it off. So this one, I went on the bluer side, right? So I added a little more blue to the purple to make it more like a, I don't want to say, let's call this like, for my eyes, and everybody's got their own opinion, this is almost like a dark periwinkle, right? So it's like a bluish purple. Look at how this is gonna pop off of that. You already start to see. So it's about finding the right color mix and the right hues to really make things pop off one another. And the true great cake decorators, they're masters with color. You know, one of my favorites is Ron Ben Israel. He's a friend of mine, but when you see his cakes, you're captivated by the colors. I mean, the flowers are beautiful, the cakes are beautiful, but there's just something that draws you in with the colors first. And you know, it's something that comes over time. It's something that you learn. All right, so I got another color to mix. Okay. And we got that, that looks good. See? These are like cousins. They're all in the same family, but they're different. So you got your periwinkle, your lilac, and your violet. They all work beautifully together against that green right off the bat. You see, those colors together are gonna work. I'm gonna start with the green. I wanna ice my beautiful cake up in this beautiful green. The first thing I'm gonna do, while Chad is making me, yeah. So I'm gonna put the dots, the drops in. Chad's just gonna mix. Okay. Okay. So you know that. All right. So, oh yeah. Ready? Oh, we're going deep. Boy. All right. Because we need like a really punchy. All three, and it's hardcore. We're looking to make like Barney, okay? My cake is dirty iced, so now I'm gonna put the layer of green. Again, you see I'm using a turntable, and I'm just kind of going around and around, and I'm just gonna kind of get enough of this green. Okay. Take a little bit more from the top. Bada boom, bada boom. And I'm gonna take my knife. I'm just gonna gently go around the cake. This cake was refrigerated. And for people who don't decorate that much at home, that's a good way to ice a cake, is by icing it a little bit, putting it in the refrigerator, taking it out, back and forth, because it gives you more control of what you're doing. When it does come out of the refrigerator, it makes it easier. It's almost like layers, or they call that what? I call it dirty ice, they call it crumb coating. Some people actually crumb coat their buttercream layers like this, and they'll put it in, they'll pull it out, they'll get a hot knife, and they'll start to kind of like work back and forth with it to make it better. You've seen me do this a million times on Cake Boss. I just feel that edge with my finger, so it's perfectly smooth. And now I'm just going to kind of use this to smooth out my cake. So I get almost like a fondant-like finish out of buttercream. Okay, see how smooth that side is? I'm gonna pull the top in, get it like it's fondant-esque. The advantage of buttercream over fondant on something like this, you can get a very sharp look with the buttercream. So I can make it look like it's, you know, like really a sharp edge. With the fondant, there's always gonna be a little bit of that roll off that you're gonna get. The problem is, but this is not forgiving. So this you have to be perfect at. The fondant, definitely more forgiving. If I put my finger in it, it's going through the icing. If I put my finger on the fondant, it's gonna be okay. Okay, you look at that cake. If I wanna make this edge sharper, I would refrigerate it again, and I would go back, and I could make this like guaranteed to be exact. But for what I'm doing today, it's not gonna really matter, because I'm gonna cover a lot of it up. Look, you already see that it's green. It almost feels like a beautiful springtime Easter pillow that my flowers wanna go to sleep on. I'm gonna show you how I make flowers, the old-fashioned way, okay? First thing I'm gonna do is, I like using the yellow or the lime green or the sage green for a center, because I feel like every flower needs to have a center. I take a rose nail, take a little bit of schmutz, I take a piece of parchment paper, which I already cut. Second, we're gonna make our little stalk. Okay, now, what I'm doing is I'm going right up to the top with the petal, but I'm just going straight up. Okay, so the first layer is I go up, right to the top. I spin it, I do one right next to it, right to the top. Right to the top. Right to the top. As I do it, I know how much to squeeze in my hand. Okay? So we got that first row, right? We got that first beautiful crown. Now, I'm gonna start in between the two petals. I'm gonna go up, and then I'm gonna pull out. I'm gonna go up, I'm gonna pull out, up and out, up and out. So you see, starting to give it that shape. Okay. Up and out. Just when I'm getting to the 3/4 length, I pull out. And then by me just snapping my hand at the end, it pulls it. And I pull in the buttercream the way that I want it. Now I go back in between, but I'm going halfway up. Going halfway up, and I'm going out. Going halfway up, and I'm going out. Halfway and out. Now I'm gonna go back in between, another one. Just to fill it in. Okay, so let's put more schmutz on my paper. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is make a flower where I'm bringing petals around, going up and around. Okay. Then we're gonna go like this. Boom. 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 And you know what? Buttercream flowers for a while weren't on trend. Like people weren't doing, they weren't popular. I was scared. I thought I was gonna be out of a job because I'm one of the last dinosaurs that actually knew how to do it. But like everything else, things do come around. This is a dying art. This is a skill set that, you know, I feel is just so important and so beautiful. Whether you're using it with fondant, without fondant, I think that, you know, people want to see it. This is something where you hone your craft. Okay, it's not a mold, it's not a quick fix. You have to practice to get good at this. You have to be doing this for years. You have to know what you're doing. You have to care about it. You have to want it. Like when I wanted to learn how to make a rose, I was a kid and I stood in front of that buttercream bucket with the rose nail. And I made it, it didn't come out right, boom, I'll put it back in the bucket, until I was able to master it. Okay, like that. So look at this, this is a cool one. We can go where I change the tip, just the angle of the same tip. And I'm just going up and down in it. Same exact tip, just a little different pull, a little different direction, and you have a different flower. Okay? Just to show you the differences. Just by angling the bag a little bit. And that's what you gotta do. You gotta be able to play. It's gonna make you a better cake decorator inevitably, right? Now listen, it's very simple. Practice. We're gonna use these Russian tips in here, which I think are brilliant, I think are trendy, but there's no Russian tip that's gonna make this flower here. I don't care how good it is. So it's about you getting better at what you do. Everything with piping is about angling your hand. See how it looks like, almost like natural? There's no pattern, there's no rhyme or reason. So I'm just gonna kind of, you know, just have some fun with it. What I'm going to do is get the first batch of flowers. Hopefully they're frozen. So you put them in the freezer. I'm gonna look for a front of the cake, and then I'm gonna angle my flowers kind of around the cake. Remember, you got to be quick here, because if you're not quick here, these flowers are going to melt in your hands. So again, I'm taking the same flower with the same color profile and putting them kind of around and sporadically in different locations. I use that as like a little lift. Now I'm going to take the other high flowers, or taller flowers. This one is a little stickier. Okay. The flatter ones I'm going to kind of lay on the sides here. This is where this tip comes in handy, because so I'm going to kind of pipe on the sides. Oh, that's coming nice. You guys like these Russian tips? Let me know in the comments. Once I add the foliage here, this cake is really gonna pop. And again, so I'm just going back too, and this is a good trick. You could open your petals on your Russian tips by just going with the tip of the rose nail and just kind of making sure that they all conform and doing what you want them to do. Pretty happy with what I see here. Foliage is gonna do it here. And we could also, you know what else is gonna help this cake come to life? Let's improvise. Let's go with these Russian tips, and there's no reason why I can't add a little yellow to these to make them come to life the way I want. You know what? Let's do some green ones too. Oh, I got egg bowls all over the place. So now we got even more razzle dazzle and pop. Now watch how this color is going to tie it all together. Now we're just going to go with some leaves, right? I got these other little candied eggs that I'm just going to kind of sporadically put on the bottom here. All right, Chad, come on down. What do you think?
Not bad.
Not bad?
I guess that's why they call you the cake boss, huh?
Yeah, not bad. I improvise in this cake. I really didn't know what I wanted to do, but I wanted to have some fun with it. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Cool. I even like the combo of the Russian tips with my flowers.
And the cool part is you filled this cake, right?
I did.
Oh,
there's a piñata in here, baby. Piñata time. Who doesn't like a good piñata? So that's my Easter cake. Leave me some comments in the comment section so I know what you guys think about it. But yeah, this was just really just created. This was just kind of like free flowing. I hope you like that version of me. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.